So welcome to you all to our admission, enrolment and tutorial registration session. To help you, there are 3 steps to commence at Western Sydney University, and we're going to go through each of these steps to help you in your transition to the university. The first step is admission. This is what I'll be going through. So we'll be talking about whether you need to meet conditions, if applicable, accept and pay fees. Then Zoo is going to take over and talk to you about enrolling, so activating your student account, completing your enrolment. Once you enroll, you will be ready to prepare for your class timetable, and we do that through tutorial registration. So they're the 3 main steps that we're going to go through this afternoon. Now, spring session, classes commence not this Monday, the following Monday, Monday the 20th of July. So you need to be prepared to start by then. As you know, due to COVID, you'll commence your course online. If you are offshore, so if you're studying online from your home country, you will not require a visa to enroll in your course to study online, okay? But you will need to submit your visa application in preparation to travel to Australia when the current travel ban is lifted. So when our borders are opened, you know, you can submit your application in preparation for our borders opening so that you can then come to Australia to complete your degree. Now, don't worry too much if your visa application is declined, if that's the case, and you've already studied your course online. The university has options available to you, including a full refund. Conditions do apply, but contact us at International Admissions and I will tell you what the contact details are if that happens to be your case while you're studying the course in the next 6 months. Now, Western Sydney University is very committed to keeping our students and staff safe during this constantly evolving situation regarding the COVID-19 outbreak. The university is working on a carefully managed staged return to face-to-face learning between now and the end of the year for students. So those of you who are onshore, there is going to be a staged return and we will contact you with further details. When you study with us at the university online, you will receive support from the university, and you would have heard some of the support and some from our welfare services talk to you about the type of support that's available to you. So we want to make sure that your online learning is stress-free and that you succeed. If you are offshore, you will be supported online until you can arrive in Australia. Now, to keep up to date with what's happening with the university, I recommend that you go to the COVID-19 website. It's there on our homepage, but there's a very good frequently asked questions section, and there's also contact information. So if you have any concerns at all, please make sure you refer to this website and make use of the contact details there, and we will be able to help you. So no question is too silly. Make sure you contact us with any of your concerns, okay? Now, when are you ready to enroll? Okay, you are ready to enroll if you have met all conditions on your offer letter. That is if you had conditions. Some of you may have had conditions, and I'll go through those conditions in a minute. You must pay the full balance of tuition fees payable as stated on your offer letter. And you must sign the acceptance form with your payment and return to us at Apply at Western Sydney. So some of you may have issues enrolling, and it may be something to do with your admission documents, okay? Sometimes the issues are because you still have conditions on your offer. These conditions may be certified documents, whether you have transcripts or final transcripts to submit, a completion letter or final certificate, or your English test result. If you have evidence now that you meet these conditions, please send those documents to Apply at Western Sydney and we will reissue you with an unconditional offer. You pay the balance of your tuition fees payable that's stated on the offer letter. You send us your acceptance details and you will then be able to enroll. If you still have a condition where I must submit certified documents, We understand that a lot of institutions around the world have closed, or there's been delays in getting your official documents to you, or that you can't certify them because you can't go in to see your agent because their agent offices are closed to certify them. Submit your documents to us at Apply at Western Sydney, and if you have trouble certifying them, write to us and we will advise your options, okay? So please don't stress if you don't have those certified documents. Please contact us and we will be able to help you. To support you during the COVID-19 pandemic, we are very pleased to announce that as you are commencing your course in spring session, you will receive a 10% reduction of your tuition fees for this session. Your offer letter will actually indicate the 10% reduction, and I'll go through that in a second. If you have already paid your fees before the 10% was applied to your record, the 10% reduction amount will be credited to your next session fees. So you will get it, but you will get it in the next session. So that would be autumn session next year. However, you can request a refund of the 10% reduction after census date, and the census date is the 31st of August. So if you feel that you need to get the 10% reduction now, you can submit a refund request, but it won't be processed until after the 31st of August. So you're looking at September or October. Now, what does it look like on your offer letter? So if you get your offer letter, there's the acceptance fee deposit section. And in there, you'll see the course 1 deposit is your normal course deposit fee. This is what you would normally need to pay for your first semester. But on there, you will see that there's a COVID-19 10% fee reduction. So that's a 10% reduction. So if your course fee was $14,300, you are going to receive a $1,430 discount, which means your total course deposit now, instead of being $14,300, it is $12,870. Therefore, your total acceptance fee will be $12,870 plus the overseas student health cover up the top of that column, which equals that $14,288. Now that amount is going to be different for different people, depending on what the tuition fees is for your course. Okay, so it's not all $14,000. This is just an example for people. All right, so you must refer to your offer document. Now, we have questions about how do I accept and pay my fees? There are still a lot of students out there that are yet to accept their offer. Again, you cannot enroll unless you've accepted and paid your fees. So as I mentioned, the full acceptance balance is displayed on your offer letter. You must accept your offer, pay the total acceptance fee before enrolling and before commencing your course. You will also receive your confirmation of enrolments once we receive your acceptance and full payment. Now, your payment options are one stop through the credit card system, Western Union or Flywire. And you can search pay your fees on the university website if you want some more information. But we have a great how to accept and pay instructions video on the International Orientation website. So if you go there and locate that video, it will show you, it'll go through each process step by step. So you can just have that video playing while you accept and pay your fees, and it's quite a simple process to follow. There are some frequently asked questions as well about fee payments. We have some questions. Some students want to pay with 2 credit cards. Yes, you can. You just simply enter your desired amount for your first amount and then pay the remaining amount with your second credit card. If you want to pay in foreign currency, you would either select Western Union or Flywire, okay? Whichever method depends on the exchange rate for that specific date as it varies. So you just, if you want to check what the exchange rate, you can go into both those functions there. Now, once you enroll, if you have any queries about your fees or your fee account, you need to contact Student Central and we will supply those details at the end of this presentation, including the overseas number. I see some people wanting to know the overseas number, so we've got that there. Now, some of you may have a scholarship and we get a lot of questions. When does my scholarship get applied to my fees? Okay, congratulations first if you did get a scholarship. You still need to make the full payment of the total acceptance fee as outlined in your offer. Okay, because your scholarship amount is actually credited to your fee account for the next session. So you'll get that as a credit. So if I go to the offer letter as an example, if you have received a $5,000 scholarship, for example, it will indicate here that you have a $5,000 scholarship. However, the fee, the total fee, acceptance fee, has not changed. You can see your course may have been $14,000. With the discount, it's $1,400, so it's $12,600. That's the fee that you need to pay, all right? And the $5,000 will be credited to your student account that you will see after census date, which is the 31st of August. Now, we also have questions about advanced standing. If you have applied for advanced standing when you applied to Western, your offer letter will state all these details. If you wish to apply for advanced standing and have not already done so, please send your request to International Admissions immediately. So that's at apply@westernsydney.edu.au. Now, some of you, when you go to enroll, you're not going to be sure about what units you want to enroll in. And Zoo will actually go through that process to help you identify those units. But you may still have questions because some of the units you may need to search for in the online handbook. If you have any questions regarding unit or subject selection when you enroll, make sure you contact Student Central, okay? Now, we also have students wanting to change their course or campus, okay? We have done an assessment based on your original, so it's not as easy just to say, I want to change to another course, please, because we have to reassess your application. So if you want to be considered for another course, you need to send your request immediately through to apply@Western Sydney. And we will make an assessment based on the information in your original application. If you have any new documents you wish to be considered in our assessment, send these to us too. If your assessment outcome is successful for the new course that you wish to apply for, we will reissue you with a new offer for your new course. Now, that's the end of my presentation. There was a lot there. I know there'll be questions at the end, but again, we have the team ready. If you have any kind of personal questions, we won't be responding to personal questions in this question and answer format. You just need to write to apply@Western Sydney. Make sure you include your SID in the subject line. So in that way we can locate your application quickly. You can find your student ID on your offer letter. If you have applied to the university by an agent, you can also request your agent to contact us on your behalf. And you may also contact us by phone. Okay, we have Christine at the end of our phone, 0438 803 853. And there's also the international number there. Now, that phone will be manned for the next couple of hours and then the weekend kicks in. So again, you need to call us during Sydney time next week in work hours, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, Zoo, over to you.
Thank you, Dorothy. And welcome to all of the students. Welcome on being our new Westerners. I reckon this is one of the, looking into the questions and looking at the trend of the questions, this is one of the steps that you might have some issues with. And I believe this will clarify all of the issues, all of the troubleshoots that you might be facing. So first things first, to set up your student profile and to set up your student number against all of our websites that you're going to be using, you'd have to activate your Western account. And that is done through the link that's shown on the slide. westernaccount.westernsydney.edu.au. It will simply prompt you for your SID, for your student number, where you go ahead and set up your password. So with this password, there would be quite a lot of portals, quite a lot of websites in the future during your study that you'd be using your student number and the password to log in. And after you complete setting up your password and setting up your security questions so that you can reset your password as well in the future, the next step that it will guide you through is to planning your enrollment. There would be a link there that would direct you to a website called My Student Records. Now, in My Student Records is where you provide further details to secure your enrollment. In My Student Records, you'd find your enrollment steps are divided into, the enrollment stage is divided into 4 steps. This would include confirming your personal details, completing some surveys and requirements, completing some government forms that we require, and selecting your units. The first 3 steps, it requires just some general details about you, about your contacts, and any of the details on, so that in case the university needs to contact you, they've got all the information on their end. Moving on to the next slide, that is one of the most important parts, selecting your units, or more commonly, selecting your subjects. Now, this can be quite one of the tricky parts of the enrollment stage. And to be honest with you, sharing my own experience as well, I didn't know what to do at that point. But Student Central and all the other teams that I had went to during my enrollment helped me out in getting this sorted out. So first things first you'd need is to open a different tab on your browser with the handbook link that's provided on the website. That's www.
Sorry, Zoo. People are drawing on the screen. Can you not draw on it? Just take a photo of it. Because it, yes, thank you. Just take a photo rather than drawing. Go ahead.
And one more thing I would just like to add, guys, the units that are shown in the slide here, I believe they're only dedicated to a biology course, a Bachelor of Science majoring in biology. So this won't apply to your units. So let's say if you're studying engineering, you don't want to get into cell biology. There will be specialized units for your own course. And when you go into the handbook page, there are certain boxes that prompts you for either your course code, which you can find in your offer letter, or your course name as well. Once you put these in, this will narrow down your search to your specified course, and going into the specialized page that shows you all of the units. Now, I'm under the impression that majority of the students here are studying in the spring session. So for certain courses, you'll find that there's a layout for mid-year intake. In courses, if you do not find that, I would recommend you enrolling in the year 1 spring units. So our spring session goes on from July till just about November, and our autumn session runs from March till the end of June. Going through these steps, you'll be able to secure your enrollment. For all of the international students, as you do need to enroll in full-time studies, you'd need to enroll in 4 units. If it shows 4 units, you'd need to enroll in 4. For a few of the master's courses that run under part-time loading, you just have to enroll in the maximum number of units that are shown under the spring session heading. Moving on to the next slide. There are some units where you might have a bit of a troubleshoot, a bit of an issue to enroll in or to secure your enrollment. And these might be due to the special requirements that these units require. Some courses and units have special requirements. You'll need to supply documentations that you meet those requirements. Now, these might include working with Children's Check if you're getting into a nursing course, or any courses that requires external placements, National Police Check, and also First Aid Certificate as well. But this will be very, very specific to your course. So once you're in the handbook, feel free to go through the units as well, because they will have some more information. And if you're having any issues with units, you can sort of relate back to the handbook as well. If you're unsure to select your units, and that's a very common issue you might face, please do not hesitate to contact us, to contact Student Central through the number provided below. If you are an onshore student or an offshore student, feel free to contact 1300 668 370, or also through the email studentscentral@westernsydney.edu.au. The next thing that comes into play is securing your timetable. Now, tutorial registration is basically how you choose your classes and secure the times that you're going to be attending online for the current under the current times, and in future if you do come back on face-to-face classes as well. Now, there is a delay period before you can access your timetable after your enrollment. So definitely encourage you to wait until an hour after you enroll to allow your record to be updated in the system. It's just that tutorial registration and enrollment are two different websites. So just to relay that information that you have enrolled, they take that period of time. After that, what you need to do is to log into Allocate. Now, Allocate is the website where you get to secure your timetable. Now, this can be accessed via My Western, via our homepage as well. So feel free to use any of the portals, any of the links that you find comfortable. Once you go into Allocate, if it allows you to log in, and after the delay period, you'd see all of the units that you've enrolled in. If these are 4 units, there will be 4 units in a section that says with the head that starts with the heading enrollment. Now, in case of units, they have certain components. For example, let's say the usual components included in a unit include lecture, tutorials, and workshops. This might not be the same in all of the cases. Some units might have only just a tutorial, some might only have a lecture, or some might only have a workshop. Now, there's nothing to worry about. If you come across a unit that only has a tutorial, doesn't have a lecture, if it only has a lecture, doesn't have a tutorial, it must be that it is planned in such a way that all of the components are covered in that activity. If you are in any sort of confusion, I would recommend you definitely getting in touch with us. Or also, for those who have attended the previous webinar as well, I would refer you back to VUs, to your learning guide, which acts sort of as the syllabus, and it will give you an idea on what are the components involved in the unit. For any sort of trouble, first of all, check that you have enrolled in the correct units, refer back to the handbook. And also, if your tutorial classes are full or clashing, feel free to contact Student Central for your assistance. Moving on to the next slide. My Western. Now, this is the part that I love the most. As a student, I reckon My Western has made it very, very easy to go around all of these websites that I'm talking about. Basically, My Western acts as a hub, or in other words, you can put it as a homepage for Facebook, where you can go onto your messages, where you can go onto your settings to change any of the settings. It's kind of similar to that. My Western gives you all the links you need to access your email, to VUs, to tutorial registration, my student records, and many more. And the best part is it also gives you updates about any important news and information about life at Western. To go to My Western, feel free to go to westernsydney.edu.au/mywestern, either on your phone, tablet, or on your computer as well. Looking into the next slide, student email. Now, this is a very important part that you don't want to miss. Once you set up all of these, once you set up your enrollment, your timetable, you're officially a student of Western. And just so that we can keep the communication confidential between the university and the student email is the most secure platform. Your official student email is your student ID, followed by student.westernsydney.edu.au. You can access your email via My Western. Your password would be the same one you use for your Western account. All official correspondence from the university is sent to this email. looking into the next slide, if you require any sort of assistance, any help regarding any of these steps that we have went through throughout the whole presentation, definitely feel free to contact us through the contact number, through the modes that are provided in the next slide. Because Student Central will be acting as your first point of contact, anytime, every time. That 1300 number right there is open from 9 to 5 on weekdays from Monday to Friday. So feel free to contact. If you're trying to access or if you have an issue over the weekend, feel free to send an email to us as well through the Student Central at westernsydney.edu.au website. Any general inquiry relating to your studies, enrolling in units, timetable, feel free to put that all in through the Student Central email.
So if you have any questions about enrolment, about your timetable, about selecting units, please contact Student Central at westernsydney.edu.au. If you have any questions about your application, conditions, payments to accept your offer, you will write to apply at westernsydney.edu.au. Okay? So I'm going to end our presentation now. I would like to thank you all for joining us. We had a great turnout, a great range of questions there as well. I look forward to meeting you. Normally we have a wonderful orientation day. You can see on the slide there of what it's a welcome day for our international students, and where a lot of international students meet each other. But given the COVID situation, it is unprecedented times. It's nothing that I would have ever imagined in my lifetime would have happened. We are online. We are here to support you. If you have any questions, no question is too silly. Make sure you contact us. And if we can't help you, or if Student Central can't help you, we will refer you onto the correct place. Okay? So all around the world, good night or good day for the rest of the day. Good afternoon here in Sydney. Thank you, and I wish everyone success with your studies. And I hope to meet you soon in Australia next year. All right, everyone. Thank you.